friends, and welcome back to So Glad You Asked. If you've seen my channel, you know that most of my videos I'm trying to be encouraging and supportive, and overall I love the concept of homeschooling. So you may wonder, what parts of homeschooling do I not love? So glad you asked. Today I'm going to share with you my top 5 pet peeves about homeschooling. And once again, as is always the case with what I'm sharing with you, is this is unique to my family, my homeschool, our day-to-day lives and experiences. But especially since these are pet peeves that just drive me bonkers, I would love to know if any of you are having some of these experiences in your homeschools as well. Number 5, I will be sitting and working with one of my kids. We're talking, we're listening, we're learning, we're exercising some new concept or idea, and another one of my children, because I have 4, so any one of the other 3 will, without regard to what I may be doing at the time, or I could be mid-sentence, mid-word even, and someone else will just call from across the house, from across the room, from across the table, just, oh, I had a thought, I needed mom, and so I'm just gonna yell out her name. Not to be confused with what would have been probably my number 6, which is when one of my kids come over in the middle of me working with one and just drop their books in front of my face, as if to say, I've done my work, can you look it over, can you check it, or can you help me? When I'm in the middle of working with one of their siblings. Okay, so that's my number 5, is this random, without regard, screaming of my name. Okay, number 4. So I have 4 kids. So if I'm working with this one, these 3 will do it. If I'm working with this one, these will do it. This one will do it. So it happens sort of in this chronological order of I'm working with one of my kids on typically a new concept, right? Let's just say math, for example, and let's just pretend I'm working at the very most basic math concept of addition, like 2 plus 2. So I'm working with this kid, I'm like asking all these questions, trying to help the wheels turn in their mind, trying to help them understand the idea. Maybe we're even working with manipulatives. I'm doing all this work to try to help this one kid understand this new concept. Okay, maybe it's 2 plus 2. Okay, kid, let's think about this. 2 plus 2 is, and I will hear from somewhere else in the house, or maybe even, right here at the table, 4. Thank you, older kid. Yes, I know that you know this concept that your younger sibling is working on, but that's not really the point right now. Please don't help this sibling with the answer, because you're really not helping anyone just by supplying the answer. And that happens fairly frequently, and it makes me crazy. All right, so moving on. My number 3 top homeschooling pet peeve. If I had to take the amount of time that my number 3 pet peeve has cost us over the years, I'm sure it's at least worth 1 year. No kidding. This one is, usually it's a book, right? But it could also be, where's my calculator? Where's my stapler? Where's the 3-hole punch? Where's my notebook? This lost item problem has really sucked a lot of time out of our homeschooling. And it probably happens on an almost daily basis. And here's my answer. I don't know. I know where it's supposed to be, right? Look at this beautiful shelf. Mamas, dads, look at this shelf that I have behind me. Do you know that my kids have designated space? Designated space. That's all theirs. specifically for the purpose of putting your stuff in that space. Why? So you don't lose it. Where's my book? I don't know. I don't use your book. You do. So the question really is, where did you leave it? And here's the other thing, people. We don't take our books anywhere. It is a rare occasion. Occasionally we might even go like to an appointment and we'll bring books just to work on while we're waiting in the offices or whatever. But for the most part, our books never leave our home. So when you want to know where's your book, there's really only a couple of places it could be. Come on, people, find your stuff. Put it back where it's supposed to be at the end of the day. So, obviously, you can tell I'm getting a little bit excited about these pet peeves, but it's because they happen so frequently. All right, number 2. Now, this is a funny one. A few years ago, I saw a meme, and the meme was basically a joke about homeschoolers reacting to public school students. And it showed the homeschooler like completely perplexed and asking, well, but what do public schoolers do for second breakfast? And I laughed. I thought that's funny. Second breakfast, haha. Do you know why? Because it was kind of a thing. And then I showed my kids and thought, oh, this is so funny, right, guys? Do you think this is funny? And they were like, yeah, it's funny. But then they started using this phrase, second breakfast, okay? Now, it's not really second breakfast that bothers me. What bothers me about this thing that happens in my homeschool is, okay, let me paint you a picture. I get up every morning fairly early and I start teaching classes online. I'm usually done around 9:15 to 9:30, okay? And that is when I go to the table, all of my kids join me there, and we get started with our learning for the day. I have one kid specifically who is an early riser. He is usually up by about 6:30, okay? So let's just say on an average day, this kid is getting about 3 hours of free time every morning, right? On a school day, okay? So he's getting 3 hours, and they already know you can play, you can watch TV, you can do video gaming, you can do all of your own personal stuff, like eat your breakfast, but never fails. And he's not the only one. The others will wake up at various times, but almost all typically before the 9:30 head to the table and get started on our day. Never fails. I say, come to the table, guys. Let's get started with our work for today. And I will hear like a cacophony of, but I didn't eat breakfast. But I'm so hungry. Can I bring my oatmeal to the table? You had time. Why didn't you do that? And it happens so frequently. Like, I can't even express. And I am powerless to figure out how to make the change to remedy this issue. Now, I think I mentioned this in another video as well. At this point, I just tell them, I'm sorry that you didn't take advantage of the time that you had to eat your breakfast, but now it's time to start our school day. So, I don't know. We'll see. Will that ever make a difference? I don't know. Anyway, so this is kind of funny. My number 1 homeschooling pet peeve. Now, if you saw the video that I made where I went through and sort of overviewed what we did for my youngest kid for her first grade year, you will see that this pet peeve actually happens in the video. And you can see by the reaction on my face that I was like, Okay, so in relation to the others, I think it will probably not be perceived as bothersome, but for me, it's the number 1. Are you ready? My number 1 homeschooling pet peeve is this: dropping pencils. Dropping pencils. So we're sitting there, we're working, I'm explaining, they're listening, they're asking questions, I'm answering questions, we're learning, we're getting it done, we're in a groove, we're on a path, we're making progress, we have momentum, and then, oh yeah, oh really, yeah. Gone. All of it gone. Now my kid is gonna go fishing under the table. They're gonna crawl around for a little while. They're probably gonna bump somebody, at which point they were gonna have a little bit of a bickering situation because somebody bumped me, and then we're looking for the pencil, and or maybe it rolled away, and so it takes forever to find the pencil. Guys, I'm telling you, I have tried so hard to fix this issue because it just throws everything off. It throws everyone else off because now everyone is helping by looking for the pencil. And by the time they find the pencil and they come back up and we're ready to get back to it, it's like, okay, where were we? What were you saying? What was that? Oh, I forgot. This is my number one pet peeve. And I think I've talked about this before, like on Facebook. I'd mentioned this before, like, oh, I hate dropping pencils. And it was funny because most of my fellow homeschooling moms responded with the whole lost pencils. Like the fact that we buy literally hundreds of pencils a year, for homeschooling, and then they just disappear. Like that didn't even make my list, guys. That's not even the top 5, okay? It's the dropping of the pencil, that lost momentum, that completely almost starting all over each time it happens. And what's more is for those in my family who are the worst offenders for the dropping the pencil, it will happen multiple times when we sit down. And so I will often say, put your pencil down, put it down, and hope that they don't move the book and make the pencil fall off the table again. So anyway, all to say that the dropping of the pencil is my number one most frustrating, like drive me bonkers, make me want to scoop my eyeballs out with a spoon kind of frustration, pet peeve. That's it right there. So now you've heard mine. I would love to hear yours. What are the things that just make you just want to go crazy during your homeschooling day? Feel free to leave me a comment. I would love to commiserate with those of you who are out there on the same homeschooling journey. And if you like this video, give me the thumbs up. If you want to see others, subscribe. Let me know what kind of videos you might like for me to do. And overall, I would just like to leave you with this. Even these top 5 frustrating pet peeves that I have, I still don't regret it, not one bit. I think the fruit of our labor goes so far beyond these little thorns that we have to experience to produce that fruit is so worth it. So hang in there, and thanks for watching.